The difference between realistic and unrealistic expectations in marriage. Everybody has expectations. We anticipate that the sun will rise and that the seasons will change. Perhaps we anticipate that our partner will put their filthy laundry in the hamper. The postal service is supposed to deliver our mail. We base our expectations on our own experiences and knowledge, frequently starting when we are young. They originated from our conception of how the universe functions. They could be realistic or illogical, sensible or crazy, based on reality or fantasy, based on data or judgments, result from our decisions and experiences. Expectations have the potential to harm our marriage if we are not mindful. According to data from the National Fatherhood Initiative's National Survey on Marriage in America, 45% of divorced respondents claimed that having unreasonable expectations contributed to the breakdown of their marriage. This equates to nearly 50% of all divorcees questioned. Since a marriage is a collaboration, happy spouses want the best for one another. You should talk frequently about your expectations in order to understand what each person needs. Expectations will change as the seasons of marriage change, so it won't be a one-time discussion. Identifying our expectations is the first step. Recognizing what is and isn't practical is the next stage. What are reasonable expectations then? Expectations that are achievable are realistic expectations. You can talk about them and come to an agreement. Compromise is necessary for some reasonable aspirations. These could include, among other things, expectations regarding errands, sex, and money. Here are some illustrations of reasonable goals. Assigning each other household chores. Don't forget that marriage is a partnership. Treating one another with respect. This is fundamental and important. Being polite. Words have influence. Encourage one another with uplifting remarks. Repeating "I love you" frequently. This cannot be emphasized enough. Believing in one another. Trust is important. Be proactive in mending and healing any shattered trust. Respecting one another's dreams. Our fantasies frequently vary. It's all right. Support one another in pursuing our aspirations. Where are those irrational expectations? The expectations we may not express aloud are the unrealistic ones, the ones that remain silent. Somehow, we think that our partners can read our minds and already know what we want and how we want it done. Example, being able to fold towels perfectly, or is that just true of my union? They can't read your mind. Sorry to bust your bubble. Even while it would be wonderful, it doesn't actually happen. How can unsaid expectations be resolved? Communication. You've undoubtedly heard this before, so by just talking about what each of us expects from our marriage, we can resolve some unreal expectations. Write it down, discuss it, work out any problems, and then create a strategy for moving forward as a group. Don't overlook the together component. Remember, you are a team. Let's be real here. Some expectations are simply unhealthy and irrational. Here are some instances of irrational expectations. Your happiness depends on your spouse. Your happiness is solely your responsibility. That obligation cannot be placed on another person because it is unachievable. Your spouse will make you whole. Your spouse may complete you to a certain extent, but not entirely. Not at all. The spouse you wed won't ever change. We all develop and change. We're hoping to develop in healthy ways together. However, change is unavoidable. The focus of your spouse's life should be you. You are all unique individuals. A marriage consists of two people who genuinely care about and love one another. You should spend all of your time together. It's okay if we all have various hobbies. Your spouse shouldn't ignore you entirely or refuse to interact with you. However, it's acceptable to have other pastimes and interests. Your way is the right way. Compromise between two individuals with diverse backgrounds and experiences is necessary for marriage. In a marriage, compromise may be a wonderful thing. We all have expectations, but a marriage doesn't have to be destroyed by them. Come together as partners and express your expectations. Keep the dialogue continuing. You could require professional assistance if one of you is hesitant to make concessions or maintains unreasonably high expectations. You can get through the difficult parts with the aid of a counselor who genuinely wants to see your marriage prosper.